Is there any validity to the allegation that Nick accessed Aaron's emails? I don't know, and I'm not willing to make any assumptions at this time. For reasons that I think are readily apparent, I think both Nick and Aaron's credibility are deeply questionable. Their character is deeply questionable. Both Aaron and Nick have apparently engaged in a little bit of wife sharing and seem to be mutual enjoyers of controlled substances to some degree. So both of their characters are therefore questionable. So I'm not willing to accept any statements from either of them on face value. So as to whether or not Nick illegally accessed or improperly accessed something, I'm not really willing to infer anything at this time from either Nick's statements or Aaron's statements on this issue. So if the state wishes to investigate that and, wishes to look into it, then, that's their prerogative. But until there's something that's, more objective that comes out, I'm going to defer on that issue. So I don't know that there's any truth to it at all in any vein. Depending on whether or not the state is interested or not in potentially investigating whether or not Nick or anyone else improperly accessed emails or other materials that could potentially theoretically lead to witness intimidation and or Computer Fraud Abuse Act allegations or computer trespassing or even computer fraud allegations, depending on exactly what we're talking about. In case you're wondering about potential theories of some theoretical crime, there's a couple theoretical potential crimes. But until, depending on how that goes, could lead to some interesting places, but, well, things are interesting enough as it is. Also, by the way, I suppose it's worthy of mentioning, to the degree that the state believes that there might be any truth to the possibility that anyone has been accessing materials that they're not supposed to, that would also, I would imagine, decrease their willingness to make a plea as to this. Not strictly speaking that the one necessarily speaks to the other, but if you believe that if there's any reality to it, it might also somewhat deter you from making a plea in this issue, because you might want to leave your options open for the future. So if the state thinks that there's any potential validity to it, it also doesn't particularly help his chances with respect to a plea now. Again, not necessarily a deal breaker, but it doesn't help. So I guess we really have to ask the state of Minnesota what it thinks. And by the way, of course, when it comes to offering a plea deal, the state of Minnesota's burden of proof is fuck all. That's their burden of proof when it comes to offering a plea deal. Their burden of proof is fuck all. They can offer a deal or not based on their whims. So, don't piss them off is always a really good idea.